mic, 1, 2, 3. Sound check, testing the mic, 1, 2, 3.
Actually, no. Yeah, I didn't know it was off, but yeah. I just said it. They're supposed to have the boxes. Nothing. You know? Don't forget. Don't forget the boxes, okay? Ask who's there. Ladies and gentlemen, the opening session of the Area 7 Fall Leadership Conference will begin in 1 minute. Please be seated. Tell them that the mics aren't loud. The mic isn't loud. Yeah, I'm yelling and I can't hear anything. Okay. HOSA members, welcome to the 2022 Texas HOSA Area 7 Fall Leadership Conference. As we pay tribute to our great nation, please stand as the BISD Veterans Early College High School Color Guard presents our nation's colors, and Raul Ramirez from SCID sings our national anthem.
The ceremony will start shortly. Be aware that the opening ceremony starts at 9 a.m.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you. You may be seated. HOSA members, let's give another round of applause and thank the Veterans Memorial College High School Color Guard and Raul Ramirez for paying tribute to America. Music? The music? No music? Music. No music? Each year, 5 HOSA members from across the state of Texas are elected to lead each of the 7 areas of Texas HOSA. They've been elected, they've trained, and are now ready to take the stage here at the Area 7 Fall Leadership Conference. Please welcome from Sherryland High School, your reporter, Ana Cabrera. From SCIC Health Professions, your historian, Afia Bilal. From SCIC Medical Professions, your secretary, Miles Carter. From SCIC Medical Professions, your vice president, Francisco Flores. From SCIC Health Professions, your president, Uzair Bilal. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2022-2023 Area 7 Officer Team.
I declare the Area 7 Fall Leadership Conference in session. HOSA members, advisors, and guests, welcome to the Area 7 Fall Leadership Conference here in Olmito, Texas. Every story has a beginning, and the beginning of our Texas HOSA Area 7 story begins today. In this room sits the future winners of competitive events like HOSA Bowl, or the next area officers who will take the stage at next year's conference. And of course, we have graduating seniors leaving off for college. But truly, in this room, we have our future doctors and nurses, our future public health champions. In this room, we may even have individuals who find the cure to diseases that threaten our world. Here at the Area 7 Fall Leadership Conference, we have you, our future health professionals.
As we begin a new year in Texas HOSA, this year's Area 7 Fall Leadership Conference theme is Excel Above Your Limits. Let this day serve as your foundation of what lies ahead in your year in HOSA. Explore beyond any limits to excel in your path to become a healthcare professional. We hope this day provides opportunities for you to meet new people and share information that takes you above your limits in healthcare. Now we turn our focus to this year's International HOSA theme, Beyond All Limits. Throughout today's conference, during breakout sessions, and as we meet fellow HOSA members from across the area, you will have the chance to step outside of your comfort zone and discover the path to your future, leading you beyond all limits. But after you return to your schools, there is still much work to be done. We encourage you to get involved with your local chapter, community, and HOSA service project, Be the Match. Reach out to your local middle school to encourage membership and engagement. Take advantage of the opportunities Texas HOSA has to offer. Attend the Area Spring Leadership Conference and participate in the competitive events program. And remember, seniors, apply for as many scholarships available through Texas HOSA and International HOSA. Through your involvement in HOSA, you will gain valuable knowledge, skills, and experience while making a difference to others.
Always making a difference and encouraging us to go beyond all limits are our HOSA advisors. Leadership begins in the health science classroom, where motivated students become dedicated HOSA members. Our advisors lead both in the classroom and as our chapter advisors. Let's take a moment to show our gratitude to those HOSA leaders who truly define what it means to be a servant leader. Will all HOSA advisors and HST teachers please stand to be recognized? Thank you, advisors, for your continued efforts to role model the true passion of serving your local HOSA chapters and develop future health professionals.
Texas HOSA is fortunate to have a team of visionary leaders who will lead our organizations into future prosperity, the HOSA TA Board of Directors. Without their tireless efforts and support, opportunities such as this conference would not be possible. Board members, as your name is called, please stand to be recognized. Texas HOSA Board President-elect, Seymour Lumang. Area 7 Board Member, Mr. David Garza. Also here to show their support of Texas HOSA are SDISD Medical Professions Principal, Ms. Griselda Rodriguez Flores. And SDISD Medical Professions Assistant Principal, Jose Lucio. Please welcome to the stage the SDISD Medical Professions Principal, Ms. Griselda Flores.
Thank you. Welcome to the 2022 Texas HOSA Area 7 Fall Leadership Conference. On behalf of Dr. Marco Antonio Lara, South Texas ISD, Superintendent of School, we welcome you to South Texas ISD Medical Professions, the home of the angels. Dr. Lara, as well as your advisors, instructors, and administrators are committed to HOSA, future health professionals' mission of promoting career opportunities in the health industry by providing you every opportunity to advance in your education in the health industry. As our theme states, we expect nothing less from you, everybody here, to excel above your limits. I know that we see a bright future sitting here today in each one of you. And as future medical professionals, I know you will write the best history in our world. Again, welcome to Area 7 FLC. Enjoy your day excel above your limits, and conquer the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Flores, and all of our special guests in attendance today. We truly appreciate your support for Texas HOSA.
And now, for our guest speaker. Ms. Leticia Mondragon was born and raised in Corpus Christi, Texas. She's the account manager for Be The Match in South and Central Texas, which include Corpus Christi, Laredo, the Rio Grande Valley, San Antonio, and Austin. She's also in charge of accounts in El Paso and Nebraska. Her career has been dedicated to giving back to her local community and working hard to help patients in need. Working with Be The Match is so rewarding to her because she has direct contact with her patients and their families. Besides working her dream job, Ms. Mondragon loves live theater Broadway production, MCs various events, and serves as a lector at Our Lady of Perpetual Help in Corpus Christi. She's honored to speak to you today. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Leticia Mondragon.
Well, a very good morning to each and every one of you. Muy buenos días a cada uno de ustedes. I am extremely honored to be surrounded by all of these high school heroes here this morning in El Valle de Rio Grande. How are you doing today? Y'all can do better than that. Well, again, I want to thank the officers, the coordinators who put this awesome HOSA conference here today in Olmito, Texas, in this beautiful campus. This is my first time to visit this campus. So, again, I want to thank you for inviting me to be a part of this special event today. And as I look around this room, I see future doctors, nurses, lifesavers that are going to make a difference in our community. And what I also see and what I also want to commend each and every one of you is for being a part of HOSA. What's really wonderful about going into a health occupation is that, yes, you will have your good days and your bad days, but you're the liaison with the patients and their families. When you graduate, you get to pick and choose what you want to do with your health career. Whether you want to be a traveling nurse, you want to be a doctor, whatever you choose, you get to actually choose wherever you want to go and be a lifesaver for your community. Next slide. Before I go into profession and my organization, I'm going to give you a little background on myself and my life. As was mentioned before my bio, I was born and raised in Corpus Christi, Texas. I'm the middle child, older brother, and a younger sister. My mom, Elvia Mondragon, from Refugio, Texas, and my father was from Corpus Christi, Texas. They met at the bus station. In Corpus Christi, my mom would transfer from Refugio to Corpus Christi to take the bus. My mom said it was love at first sight. And my mom was 21 when she got married, and my daddy was 20. At the age of 12, it was a very traumatic experience for me. I lost my father at the age of 42 of a massive heart attack. Complete shock to my mother and our family. I was a 12-year-old little girl. My sister was 5 and my brother was 19. So my mother had to step up and serve as a mother and a father to our family and to her children. She never dated another man. My father was the love of her life. But having my mom raise me as both a mother and a father definitely set the tone for the rest of my life and what I wanted to do with my life. I wanted to make a difference in my community and make a difference in people's lives. 4 years ago, I was nearby here. I was doing a presentation, a Be the Match presentation in Brownsville at one of the technical schools. And I kept looking at my cell number and my cell phone, and I didn't recognize the number of the person that was calling me. So as soon as I got to my car, I called the number, and it was a medical examiner's office to let me know that my older brother, Joey Mondragon, had passed away at 58 years old. I was in complete shock. My brother had never been sick. He had never been into the hospital. Hardest working man I've ever known. But I had the very difficult task of driving 2.5 hours from Brownsville to Corpus Christi, where my mother lived alone in her home, to let her know that her oldest and her only son had passed away suddenly. I didn't know how I was going to tell my mother that her oldest son had passed away. My brother and my mother were very, very close. And I remember holding her hand and telling her, Mama, Joey has passed away this morning. And she kept looking at me. No, mijita, no te creo. Lo vi ayer. Estaba bueno, estaba tan feliz. He was happy yesterday, mija. He was okay. I'm like, no, Mama. Did he call you on his way to work today? She goes, well, no. I said, no, Mama, because he's with God now. And when she finally realized that I was telling her the truth, and I think it was she just didn't want to believe it, she started screaming. And the last time I had seen my mom and heard my mom scream like that was when my father passed away. So I had to step up even more to console my mother through her mourning period of losing her oldest son. Unfortunately, what happens to you mentally affects you physically. So my mother, unfortunately, her health was declining, and she was in and out of rehab centers. She couldn't stand anymore and walk for herself. She needed a walker. She needed home health to come and help her. I decided to put her in a private home run by a registered nurse. And 5 months after I put her in this nice home, she had home-cooked meals. She really liked it there, but it wasn't her home. But unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, 5 months after she was in this home, she was exposed to COVID-19. My mama was 84 years old, and unfortunately, the vaccine was not available then, and she developed COVID pneumonia at 84 years of age. So she was admitted into the hospital. There was nothing that the doctors could do. There's no cure for COVID-19. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, that was the most difficult decision for me to make, is to put my mother in comfort care. My mother was my world, my best friend. I would call her every day I would go out of town. Mama, I'm doing this. And she would always worry. She would be like, ay, mijita, you're traveling so much. I said, Mama, but I love what I do. And that's one thing that I want to let each and every one of you, when you love what you do, you will never work a day in your life. It's not work. It's a part of your life. After 5 days of my mom being admitted into the hospital, I had that difficult decision. I didn't want to have her intubated, not at 84. I didn't want a ventilator down her throat, not at 84. And even when I was a little girl, muy chiquita, my mama would tell me, mijita, if you ever have a choice of putting me on life support, or if I'm on life support, you have to let me go. If I need a machine to live, I'm no longer alive. So as I looked at my mother, and I saw her gasping for air. She needed 100% oxygen. She had a BiPAP machine. And I was so blessed that I was able to go and hold my mom's hand when she took her last breath. They had me in full PPE, but that was a choice, and that was a decision I wanted to make. I wanted to be with my mother when she took her last breath. Her favorite song was Vaya con Dios, And I remember singing that to my mother, and my mother was just looking at me, and I could tell that she was ready to go. She was ready to go be with my brother and my father and her parents, her friends and families that have gone on and have received their angel wings. And after I sang to her, Vaya con Dios, I saw the zero. And I started screaming. I knew that my mama, I knew that I was going to lose my mother, but I wasn't ready to accept it. So then she came back 14 more seconds, and then she was gone. 2 days before Thanksgiving, 2 years ago. And I remember the nurses left the room when my mom took her last breath, but they heard me crying out for her and screaming when she took her last breath. And they came in and they consoled me. And that's why it's so important that you are the future liaisons for families like myself that are going through a very traumatic experience. You're the only liaison that they can talk to at that time. And I remember they came in and they were consoling me, and they said, you gave the best gift that you could possibly give to your mother. 2 days before Thanksgiving, she's going to be with her loved ones. And I share that story with each and every one of you because what I do with Be the Match, I'm very passionate about what I do because death has surrounded me my entire life. I know firsthand what it's like to lose a loved one. And by my work with Be the Match, we're able to make a difference in people's lives. Be the Match is the most diverse registry in the nation. What we do is when a patient or a patient's family reaches out to our organization, it's basically their last chance for hope, their last chance for survival. Every 3 minutes, someone is diagnosed with a life-threatening blood cancer, 20 an hour, 480 per day. 70% of those blood cancer patients that have been recently diagnosed with leukemia, lymphoma, sickle cell anemia, or any other blood disorders need to find what we call a marrow match outside of their family. So that's why our organization exists. Be the Match has existed now for 32 years, and 100,000 transplants have been done because of community members, college students, individuals that have stepped up to the plate to become a part of someone's cure for cancer. I know what some of you might be thinking right now. Oh, I hear that it's a surgical procedure, and a lot of people don't want to do it because it's going to be very painful. But I'm here to let you know, ladies and gentlemen, that 85% of all procedures, if you are the best match for a patient, is actually a peripheral stem cell donation, very similar to a platelet, plasma, or double red blood donation. And what's really awesome about all this is that when we go matching a patient with a donor, it has nothing to do with blood types. It's all ethnic background. Next slide. If I can have the next slide. As you can see here, the disparity and why we need individuals of all ethnicities to become a part of someone's cure for cancer. As you look at the different statistics here, 79% of Caucasian and white patients have a chance of finding their match. It drops dramatically low for Hispanic and Latinos, with only 48% chance of finding their match, and even less of Black or African Americans, with only 29% chance of finding their match. As I walked down the hospital rooms at Driscoll Hospital in Corpus Christi, Methodist Children's Hospital in San Antonio, and also Texas Children's Hospital in Houston, you see these children, you see these adults that are just waiting for that little bit of hope. And each 18, you can become a part of someone's. I encourage you, when you are of age, to become a part of someone's cure for cancer. Next slide. Can y'all hear me okay? Okay, great. Little Bella was born in Laredo, Texas. She is the daughter of Ray and Betsy Sanchez. She's got 2 older brothers, and she's the baby of the family. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, she's quite a little diva. She loves Bruno Mars. She was saying hi to me earlier because y'all were playing a Bruno Mars song. She loves Flaming Hot Funyuns. She loves chips and salsa. She loves the colors pink and purple. She loves unicorns. I don't know if any of you are familiar with that song, El Tau Tau. Every time it comes on, she looks at her mom or anybody that's in the hospital room and she'll be like, El Tau Tau, Tau Tau, y comienza baile, baile. And she holds on to whatever and she starts dancing. And she nails done in the hospital, the brighter the pink, the better. At 7 months old, ladies and gentlemen, it was get a call from the director of the daycare center. Boo, their little Belita, had shortness of breath and a very high fever. Her parents immediately rushed over to the daycare and took her to Laredo Medical Center, where she undergoing different tests. Several hours after undergoing all those tests, all of a sudden they see 7 doctors walk inside the room. And they knew, the parents knew at that point in time, that it was not going to be good news. They saw 7 doctors walk in. What is the diagnosis? It's not going to be good. They came in to tell them that their 7-month little baby girl has acute lymphoblastic leukemia. Right then and there, ladies and gentlemen, their lives were changed. Unfortunately, in Laredo, there is no medical facility that helps treat children, and there's no medical facility that helps treat cancer patients. So she immediately had to be transported to Methodist Children's Hospital in San Antonio, where she started to undergo chemotherapy treatments. She underwent chemotherapy treatments for 4 months, and she was cancer-free. Her parents were really excited that their little Bella Boo was cancer-free. She got to ring that bell. Her daddy got to pick her up. But it was always a fear for her dad, Ray Sanchez. What happens if my baby girl has a relapse? Because he had heard that it comes back pretty aggressively. Well, unfortunately, in October of 2018, little Bella Boo relapsed. They reached out to be the match because Bella fell into the 70% that needed to find a match outside of her family. Her parents were tested, her brothers were tested, her cousins were tested, several friends were tested. No one was a match for Bella. And no one on our registry was a match for Bella either. Why? Again, because of a low representation of Hispanic and Latinos on our registry. We began a campaign called Bella Strong, where we started going out into the community and having people register with Be the Match. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, Bella Serena Sanchez was the first patient I ever worked with since I began my journey with Be the Match. And I saw her through some good days, and I saw her through some really bad days. No little girl or little boy or adult for that matter should ever have to endure what this little girl endured every day. They constantly had to put Visine eye drops in her eyes because of the pain on her bones from her leukemia. Her first steps as a little girl was accompanied by an IV pole, when she should be carrying around baby dolls and toys. Every morning, when she would wake up, she was a little politician, she would go knock on all the other patients' doors and ask them to come out and play with her. Come on, don't be sad. Come and play with me. Imagine, those of you that are parents inside this room, and future parents, imagine having to hold down your baby as they're squirming and screaming that they don't want a needle poked on the side of them to go to their port. The normal procedure of changing her diapers was excruciating for this little girl. Because of the chemo, it burned all of your body parts. One moment she would be smiling and dancing, and the next moment she would be crying in so much pain. Little Bella not only relapsed once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times. By this time, she was 2 years and 4 months old, and she started to develop skin cancer as well. It came to the point to where the chemotherapy treatments were no longer working for little Bella. Bella got very close to a dog called Hazel. It was a therapy dog at the hospital, and that was her best friend in the hospital besides all the other patients. It got to the point to where her parents had to make a decision on the future of their baby girl. They weren't ready to let her go. I remember spending time with her mother at night at Methodist Children's Hospital, and her crying to me in tears, "Leticia, please help us. My baby girl wants to live. My baby girl wants to live. She wants to live with her older brothers. She wants to grow up and be a cheerleader just like her mommy." She was transported to Texas Children's Hospital for what we call a CAR T-cell therapy treatment. This was a last resort for Bella. The chemotherapy treatments were not working for this little girl. So they didn't do the treatment there in San Antonio. She had to be transported to Houston, to Texas Children's Hospital. But unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, 2 days after she was transported, she suffered cardiac arrest. She was brought back to life to fight even more, but she didn't make the last CAR T-cell therapy treatment. So at this point, the doctors had a long conversation with Bella's parents and said, "This is all that we can do for her." And the parents begged the doctor, "Can she please be transported back to Methodist Children's Hospital?" Because that's where little Bella had spent the majority of her life, was at Methodist Children's Hospital. And they wanted her final days to be comfortable with the doctors that she knew, with the nurses that she knew, and around other patients that she had made friends with. So the doctor said, "But you're taking a chance because we could transport her and she can pass on the way, and it's also a bill of $98,000 to have her transported." So the parents were like, "That's only going to be added to our medical bills, but we've got to look out for her daughter." So the doctor knew what the parents were going through, and the doctor said, "Don't worry about it. I will pay for the transport." So they transported her back. She made it to Methodist Children's Hospital. And on April 9th, ladies and gentlemen, her parents had the most difficult decision no parent ever wants to face for their 2-year-old baby girl: to take her off of life support. She was constantly given morphine. She was intubated. They tried to wake her up to talk to her and say goodbye to her, but all she did was cry because she was in so much pain. Before they disconnected her from life support, they had her brothers, her older brothers, come and say goodbye to their baby sister. And the parents had to explain to them that this is something that they had to do to free her from pain. Hazel, the dog, was also in the room. And let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, this was a little girl that wanted to live. She was full of life, so compassionate. Any person she would encounter, she would meet, she would want to hug you, and she would just smile at you. Just cachetona, she was just adorable. But on April 9th, her parents had to make the decision to disconnect her from life support and free her from pain. Both parents got on their knees and begged God, "Please give us some more time with our baby girl." And Bella fought to the very end. They disconnected her from life support at 9:30, and she took her last breath at 4 o'clock that afternoon. She died in her mother's and her father's arms. They knew that it was going to happen, but they kept praying for a miracle. They wanted their baby girl to live. I share her story with each and every one of you here today. This was not a little girl that I saw on social media. This was not a little girl that I saw on television. This is a little girl that I went along her cancer journey with her and her family, and a difficult one. But this is what makes my job so rewarding, is that I had direct connection to this little girl. And to this day, ladies and gentlemen, she continues to inspire me every single day. I live in Corpus Christi and I do a lot of traveling. And I love traveling, but some days I do get tired. But I think about little Bella and her story, and I think about other children and adults that need me to spread the word about Be the Match and how they can make a difference and give hope to patients not only in their local community, but anywhere in the world. I share Bella's story with each and every one of you here today because this little girl never knew what it was like to have a Christmas at home with her family. She never knew what it was like to have a birthday with family and friends because her first 2 birthdays and her only 2 birthdays here on earth was hooked to an IV pole at Methodist Children's Hospital. Her last Halloween here on earth, she looked adorable. They dressed her up as Miguelito from Coco, and they hired a mariachi to come sing to her Remember Me. That would be the last Halloween little Bella would have here on earth. On April 9th, heaven gained an angel, a dancing angel, and continues to inspire me and everyone to become a part of someone's cure for cancer. As they say, a dog is someone's best friend. Little Hazel, the therapy dog at the hospital, had to be retired for 5 months because the dog didn't want to come out and play anymore because her best friend Bella wasn't there anymore. Dog had to be retired for 5 months. But Bella continues to inspire me every day to go out in the community, wherever I go, share her story, and try and make a difference in people's lives. Bella's parents are still grieving over the loss of their baby girl, but they have turned it around into a positive. And that's what I'm here to let each and every one of you know is a bad experience, a traumatic experience. Yes, we're going to have those in our life, but we have to turn that around for a positive. They have turned it around and made their own nonprofit called Smiles from Heaven. And it is for all the patients in the Laredo area. Again, since there's not a hospital that treats children or cancer patients, they have all these fundraisers. And what they do with these fundraisers, they actually fundraise for money for gas cards for those parents that are going through the same thing they went through with their children undergoing cancer treatments, transportation. They have Bella's bundles, all of that, which is really, really cool. But I share her story with each and every one of you, and I hope you will remember little Bellita today and always as our little angel, our little dancing angel that is still making a difference in people's lives today. Next slide. I'd like to introduce you also to another patient that I work with called Leighton de la Rosa. She was born and raised in Weslaco, Texas. They reached out to me as well. There was no one in her family that was a match for Leighton. Remember, only 30% of patients have a match in their family. Little Leighton's family reached out to us begging us, please, is there a match on Be the Match? Is there a donor? Somebody that would potentially match our daughter. She was actually diagnosed with a very rare blood disorder, and she needed a transplant and a match. Unfortunately, there was no one on our registry. Leighton is of mixed race. She is Caucasian and Latina as well. So we began another Living for Leighton, another campaign for Leighton. But I'd like to also let you know that this picture was taken a little over a month ago. And this was taken in Charlotte, where Leighton met her life-saving donor from Charlotte, North Carolina. Little Leighton suffered through a blood disorder for over 3 years. She lost all of her hair, has grown back. As you can tell, she's a beautiful little girl. But let me tell you, she went through a lot, ladies and gentlemen, through her 3-year journey. But to meet the person that helped save her life, the mother was in tears. Little Layton was just anxious to see her donor. And she is alive today because of someone that signed up with Be the Match and was a committed donor to a patient. And let me tell you why this young lady who was her match signed up. The individual that was hosting a drive was a gentleman that her donor kind of had a crush on. She kind of liked him. So when he went up to her and said, would you like to, sign up with Be the Match? She's like, yeah, she thought she'd get a date, And she's like, yeah, I'll sign up. So they dated for a little while, but she didn't end up marrying him. She ended up marrying somebody else. But imagine a crush on a guy that was having a drive, and she ended up being the best match for this little girl, Layton de la Rosa from Weslaco, Texas. So just like I shared to you a story of Bella that did not find her match, we also have Layton that was blessed that she found her match in Charlotte. Imagine that. What's really awesome about signing up with Be the Match and supporting Be the Match is that after a year, after the donation, you're able to meet that person that helped save your life, and more than likely they're going to look almost exactly like you, even though you've never met them. We had a young lady from actually it was Texas State, San Marcos. She registered, she was a nursing student. And what was so fascinating is that she, the donor, she's already a nurse already at one of the local hospitals, loves chocolate. Well, the little boy she donated to all of a sudden became a chocoholic because of her. So sometimes they do take over the same likes. So I'm like, if I ever match anybody, they're gonna like fideo, conchitas, sushi every now and then. Sometimes they do take over the same likes. We also had this other gentleman that got the call after he ended up with us. He ended up being a best match for a 15-year-old girl from Portland. We meet in person. She looked almost exactly like him. He was actually, the donor was 61. She was actually 15. They met 3 years after, so she was 18 at this point. She looked almost exactly like him. But what was so emotional about that meeting is that he couldn't stop crying. And we kept asking him, sir, why are you crying? You should be so happy. You finally get to meet the person you helped save. He goes, y'all don't understand. My wife and I could never have children. But because he signed up with Be the Match, he ended up giving a second chance at life to that 15-year-old girl who is now a nursing student in Portland, Oregon. But because someone signed up with Be the Match, she's able to live a healthy life. The donor requirements to sign up with Be the Match, you have to be between the ages of 18 to 40. It is a one-time sign-up, and you're left on our registry until you're 61 years of age. What's really awesome about our organization, you not only have the opportunity to help save a life in your local community, not only on a statewide level or national level, but anywhere in the world, because again, it goes back to your ethnic background. I just want to let each and every one of you know that I love what I do every day. As I mentioned before, if you love what you do, you will never work a day in your life. By going into a health profession, you are being a local hero. You're giving all of these patients hope. You're there for them, to console them, to talk to them. So I want to commend each and every one of you for picking this wonderful, wonderful career in the health profession. There's so much you can do. You can become a school nurse. You can become a doctor. I just met a doctor from the University of Texas in Rio Grande Valley. You could do so much with the health profession, but such a rewarding career. I continue to work hard with Be the Match, add more people to our registry every single day, because by signing up with Be the Match, you're not only giving hope to our patients, but also to their families in need. We at Be the Match have a commitment to our patients and their families, but we cannot fulfill that commitment without the support of each and every one of you and our community members. So on behalf of Be the Match, I would like to thank HOSA Texas. I would like to thank everyone from El Valle del Rio Grande. I love your restaurants. Y'all have the best food. I just love coming out. I love the culture in this area. It's a culture that wants to make a difference. The University of TRGV, whether it's Brownsville or Edinburgh, they really look forward to it because they're all saying, man, the students are so nice here. They are so nice here because they want to make a difference and want to help save a life. So I commend each and every one of you for being a part of this organization. I wish each and every one of you the best of luck. And if I could have the next slide. Every one of you. I think a year ago I was in El Paso speaking at a HOSA conference there. I also had the opportunity to speak at Sherryland. Also, yes, Sherryland. Yes. I also had the opportunity to do that. And next Saturday, I will actually be speaking at a HOSA conference in Austin, Texas. So I'll be traveling over there as well. And I do believe we're going to have one in Corpus Christi semester, I believe. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for becoming a part of Someone's Cure for Cancer, for listening to my story, and to all the HOSA organizers and officers. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I am beyond honored to be with each and every one of you here today, and I'm very fortunate that I have all these guardian angels looking down on me, from Bella to my brother to my dad to my mama that's probably like, Leticia, you don't stop. But I know she now realizes why it was so important for me to do this job and to travel. She would always tell me before I would leave, que Dios te cuide, hijita. I'm going to leave you with those words. Que Dios te cuide. Acá. You the best of luck, blessings. I want to commend your parents for their support, and to all the teachers, another round of applause and your sponsors. And again, I want to compliment all of the HOSA officers, young students and young professionals. And again, it's been an honor to speak to each and every one of you, and of course, be surrounded by so many high school heroes here today. So as my mom would say, que Dios te cuide. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Mondragon, for sharing your message and motivating the members of Texas HOSA, future health professionals.
Conferences like these do not happen overnight. It takes hard work and tireless efforts from a dedicated HOSA chapter and HOSA advisor to take on the responsibility of serving as a host of a HOSA leadership conference. Here to welcome us to South Texas ISD Medical Professions, please welcome the chapter president, Allison Mireles.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Alice Mireles, and I'm Medical Professions Senior HOSA President. It is with absolute joy that I welcome you to this year's Fall Leadership Conference hosted on our amazing campus. All of our HOSA members, faculty, and staff have worked endlessly to ensure you guys have an amazing time at this year's conference. A special and well-deserved thank you to all of our amazing HOSA advisors and the EMS program from here at Medical Professions that have helped plan this event today. Every detail has been covered and planned precisely to ensure this conference is not one to forget. Please be sure to enjoy all the wonderful activities available to you all. We do ask that you respect our beautiful campus by picking up after yourself and taking care of our classrooms. I hope that each and every one of you take the lessons taught here today and gain knowledge to lead others this HOSA season. With this year's theme being Excel Above Your Limits, I ask that you guys make friends, have fun, and be sure to spread HOSA hype at this year's 2022 Fall Leadership Conference. With that, here are the instructions for today's events. Firstly, I know that each chapter picked up a folder containing the instructions, name tags, schedules, a marker to write names, and information on the pop-ups that our students are free to attend at any time. The color and the number on each name tag represent which schedule you will be receiving. For example, if you have a name tag with the label G2, you will get schedule number 2. For the pop-ups, there will be papers in your folder stating where they are. Students will be able to attend those at any time throughout the day. Every officer will have 6 sessions to attend, and based on the schedule is where you will go. There will be a bell stating when to go to the next session, and from there you will have 5 minutes to make it to the next one. Thank you, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful time on our campus, and if you have any questions throughout the day, feel free to ask any volunteers or EMS students. Thank you all.
Thank you, Allison. We truly appreciate all of the hard work and hospitality that your school and chapter have shown to ensure we have the best area conference ever.
This year, HOSA has partnered with Be The Match for the HOSA Service Project. Be The Match is a global leader working every day to save lives through cellular therapy. Be The Match connects patients with the matching donor for a life-saving marrow transplant. The Be The Match registry is the most diverse registry in the world. It includes both adult donors willing to donate to a stranger in need and stored cord blood units. In addition, Be The Match provides patients and their families one-on-one support, education, and guidance before, during, and after transplant. We invite you to take part in the Area 7 Fall Leadership Drop to Stop Challenge. We will pass around a donation box where you can drop a monetary contribution to help stop registry shortages for Be The Match. Moreover, you will have the opportunity to buy a Kona Ice snow cone during lunch, where a portion of the proceeds will be donated to Be The Match. Join us at the closing session where we will reveal the total amount raised. All proceeds go directly to Be The Match Foundation.